Hello there, I'm Constance Yeoh. Welcome to the show. Welcome to Malaysian Nature Society and a very happy new year to you, 2021. I hope it's a better year than the last. We're coming from Malaysian Nature Society Naturegrapher channel. MNS Naturegrapher channel is part of Malaysian Nature Society photo group, bringing you various talks, features on topics of conservation, awareness, the beauty and exotic flora and fauna of Malaysia and the environment. And in this episode, we have a guest with us, Mr. Leng from Applied Imaging Sdn Bhd. Welcome,
Hi.
Mr. Lee.
Thank you. Happy New Year to 2021 to all.
Mr. Lee is a business owner here, owning a professional photographic printing lab in Kuala Lumpur, known as Applied Imaging, as I've mentioned. He is with the MNS Photo Group Committee for many years, and he's also an avid fine art photographer. He has contributed tremendously to MNS Photo Group, and in particular, he has supported us in various photographic exhibitions, and he has a long list of credentials. Having had several joint photography exhibitions in Kuala Lumpur, he was also a photography judge in various photography competitions in Malaysia, and last but not least, a very keen wushu exponent. Welcome and thank you for coming on to the show, Mr. Lee.
Thank you for having me here.
Our pleasure. Can you please maybe share something about yourself and your career in photographic printing and your years of experience, I think spanning from the 1970s, I believe?
After my HSC, we couldn't afford to go overseas to study. So what we do is come out and work. So when I was in Form 6, I was asked by my dad to do some photography. So I got his camera and started shooting. And he got me a job in a local mini lab in Penang, owned by the late Lim Kian Siu, the lawyer. Okay, so that's how I started my career. Our take-home pay is only about $125, you know, and we work from 9 to 7, 9 to 10, you know. So I was in the lab, double up as a retail sales plus lab assistant. So we learn the tricks of the trade from the masters of the seafoods there. So whatever they teach you, you try and absorb and be a sponge. I got a freelance job to do a stringer job for United Press International, a foreign press agency, to shoot the first ASEAN Summit meeting, as well as the first batch of Vietnamese refugees arriving in the east coast of Malaysia. So from then on, I was more into, not into lab work, but more into photography. So I got my job as a photographer with the Regent Hotel, a 5-star hotel, to do events, POP materials and training aids for the hotel. As a photographer, every function or every festival, you have to be around.
Yes.
Just to shoot one picture of the GM shaking hands with a VIP who just arrived, no matter what time, 2 a.m., 3 a.m., you know. So I've been there for about 2 years, and then I moved on when I had a call from Kodak. I actually applied for this job, I think about more than a year ago. And because the GM was having his home leave back to the US, so nobody wanted to take up the job to do the employment. And then I got a call. I was very shocked. Did I apply for a job? I know I like Kodak, but you know, but I got a job there. And when I went for the interview, I actually wanted to do sales, professional sales in Kodak. But the only thing is that the GM told me, I only have an opening for retail sales right now. Would you want to be in? I said, okay, I'll be in. My starting salary at that time was 449. I had a very rough time in Kodak in the sense that I was taught by a quality controller which has got the power to actually sack you on the spot. He's got very good, powerful credentials with him. So he actually came to the retail sales there and asked me, what do you think of the quality of the prints coming out from Malaysia? I say rubbish. He was taken aback because Kodak Malaysia prints coming out rubbish. He asked me. I say, yeah. Anytime you open the cupboard, take a packet out and see whether you like it or not. I said, I don't like it, but that's how it is, you know. So he asked me one question. Can I do a test on you? I said, yeah, why not? He brought out a book, which is a color blindness test.
Oh.
If I was tested colorblind, that's it. That's the end of my career. So he says, okay, you do that. And actually, the position as a quality controller in Kodak Lab has been left vacant for a long time. And on top of that, this quality controller who taught me or was interviewing me told me, you can do any mistakes anytime, but do not let me catch you doing the same mistake again. That's it, you know, your career is finished. So he found out that I can see colors because of my previous experience. And in that sense, he says, okay, you can come in and work, but as a trainee. I say, okay. There are a lot of things that the culture is different in Kodak at that time and any other mini labs in that time. If you're in charge of processing film, you sit there and do nothing. When the film comes in, you process, and that's it. I spent 10 years there, culminating to as a regional quality controller for when Kodak started all the mini labs in town. So I was running around like a dog. When the mini labs has got a problem, he gives you a call, you must be there. So I was handling Malaysia with certain places like Kuantan, North Kelantan. So when a call comes in, I'll just have to grab my bag and go. Tickets will be arranged for you, and then when you come back, don't know until you've solved the job. You know? So that actually takes a toll on me. How much coffee do you drink?
Perhaps 2 a day.
2 a day. You know, a bottle of 500 grams coffee, I finish in a week.
Oh.
That's a lot of coffee I was drinking. So either my health goes or I quit the job.
That's a lot of stress.
Oh, there was a lot of stress, but it was good stress at that time. And I managed to get a roast lamb for resigning.
Oh,
because they were asking, you dare to resign us? You've been here so long. I said, why not? You know, I bet you a roast lamb if you resign. Immediately the letter was on the table. So I want a roast lamb. You know? So, okay lah, in a sense, in between I wasn't actually looking for a job, but then the machine that I sold to one of my clients, he doesn't know how to handle it. So he called me, he says, you resign? Yeah, so would you like to come over and join us? I said, okay. As naive as possible. So during the time when he says, come in and work, okay, I said, okay, you know, I will come in and be a partner, but I need to look at the books. Okay, he showed me the books, true enough. But the books, there are a lot of hidden money that wasn't being paid, you know. So that didn't appear until I signed and went in. Then he says, oh, this bill you need to pay, this bill you need to pay. I ended up paying quite a lot, but business was good at that time, so there's not so much of a problem. But the problem is that we wanted to go bigger, and we found out there's another company who also wanted to go bigger. That means we'll be eating in each other's pie. So we sat down, we chat, and we merged. So we merged and became the biggest color lab in town. We were doing printing directly on walls.
You mean mural?
Mural walls. That means we use photographic print. Usually you will just print using an enlarger on the table or one, but we actually shoot and projected the image onto the wall, and the color paper is there. You know? We were biggest in the market, and we do a 60-inch paper, which is the biggest paper in the town, and depending on the length that you want to do. So we are quite good in the sense that we are all the big boys, big players. So in the industry, if you are a big player, the distributor like Kodak and Fuji will look at you like a big brother. You know, they will throw perks to you and everything. So I was invited to go to Rochester to learn how they made the biggest print in US.
Right.
So they invited us, and then we go there and learn. After that, Fuji invited us to go to Japan. Also the same thing to learn, but Fuji's print was not as big as Kodak's print. So that was quite good in the sense that we managed to learn a lot of things. Right. And at that time, analog was fading out, and digital was coming in. So the company that I worked in managed to secure an overdraft facilities. And when I saw that, I saw an opening to jump into digital. We are really the biggest in the market for analog. There's no other biggest printer in town. We're processing 800 rolls of film per day, so it's the biggest, I would say. Then after that, we had a meeting. I said, why don't you use the money to start in the digital side of it? Because we went for various workshops and exhibitions, conferences all over the world to see what is happening in the market. They refused because they all wanted the money back. He says, the money, the overdraft facilities, we will split and share. I say, what about the balance of the bills? He say, you as an MD, you take care of it. That's when I throw my towel. I said, no, I'm not going to do that. You know, so I came out without telling everybody. Maybe I'm naive or I'm stupid or what. I didn't tell a single person or a customer of mine that I'll be shifting out. So my partners, which are more Chinamen than anything else, told me, Lee, you cannot survive outside because the customers follow the company. It doesn't follow the person. So I said, okay, then let's see. Say, let's see in the battleground and see how you survive and how long you last. So I managed to get out, secure a machine, and then with help of friends because of financial difficulties, and they managed to build up the lab with me, and we started applied imaging.
Wow.
And till now,
right.
We started in '94, and we lasted up to now. You know, so it's a good run for the money, but now the profit margin is not as good as before. So that's how. At the same time, I was quite free in the sense that I went to lecture photography or lab work in some of the art and design colleges. So I'm quite happy with that. And I stopped being a MD of applied imaging since 2012, and I want to pursue my career as a photographer. So that's how I started doing photography more than anything else.
Oh, what a long story on your career.
Oh yeah,